Farmyard, the People's Channel.
Cross, Robbie O! Oh, he met it so well. And Whitmore! Theodore Whitmore. Absent without leave, this is Whitmore. Hall and Gale both available. It's still Whitmore. And it's now 2-0.
Greetings, football from Yard Massive. In the final match of this World Cup qualifying window, the Reggae Boys were able to secure a vital 3 points, beating Honduras 2-0 in San Pedro Sula. The goals were courtesy of recent squad addition Kemar Roof and veteran O'Neill Fisher. With the win, Jamaica moves to 6 points in the standings, enabling the Reggae Boys to elevate from the foot of the table into 6th place ahead of El Salvador on goal difference, only 1 point behind Costa Rica, and 3 points behind Panama in 4th place. Coach Theodore Whitmore maintained a number of players from the draw against Canada, but shifted the way the team was set up shortly after kickoff. Mainstay Andre Blake was in goal. Damien Lowe returned to central defence after suspension. Javon Watson started the game in midfield, but shortly thereafter moved to central defence. Adrian Mariappa shifted right, and Kemar Lawrence marshalled the left flank. Anthony Grant and Devon Williams anchored the midfield, while O'Neill Fisher moved up from the right-back spot, where he started the game, to the right midfield. Junior Flemings retained his place on the left, with Kemar Roof and Shamar Nicholson up front. It was another gutsy team performance from the boys, and one in which most of the players can be satisfied with their individual showing. Andre Blake had a good night and was a wall in the goal, particularly in the second half as the Hondurans pressed forward. Most of his saves weren't that difficult, but the ones that were, he made look fairly routine. There were a few moments where the communication with his backline could have been cleaner, but overall, they looked to be in sync. Blake provided good leadership on the night. He gets a score of 8. Damien Lowe displayed his usual level of fight and commitment, but had a few mental lapses on the night. Lowe had numerous interceptions, blocks, and clearances, but his timing was off on a couple of occasions, one of which led to him picking up a yellow card. The Hondurans struggled to get past him the few times they were in isolation, and Lowe's passing accuracy was high, but his distribution does have room for improvement, particularly the long passes. The man called Head of State gets a 6. Elder statesman Javon Watson played his 3rd consecutive game and his 2nd in the centre of defence. Watson didn't see as much action as Lowe, but when he did, he was able to stop the danger. He hasn't faced relentless pressure since occupying the central defensive role, but he has looked much more comfortable in that role than in the centre of the park. He gets a 6. Like the rest of the defence, Kemar Taxi Lawrence had a gritty performance. He made one mistake, overrunning a ball that could have been more costly, but otherwise the Hondurans had a difficult time getting past Taxi. His defensive spacing with Junior Flemings was much better than in the game against Canada. Taxi's crosses weren't as effective as usual, but he still looks to be one of the best dead ball kickers in the team. He gets a 7. Being inactive at the club level and playing 3 games in a row seems to be an easy accomplishment for our older players. Adrian Mariappa shifted from his usual spot in the centre of the park to right back, where he put in a solid shift, providing stability, with vital tackles during the encounter. He had a bit more difficulty in the second half when Andy Najjar shifted to his side of the field to target him, but Maps still put up a good fight. He gets a 7. Anthony Grant put in another good shift in the middle of the park. Grant was very efficient in possession and on hand to disrupt a number of Honduran attacks. He effectively shielded the back line and supported the left side of the team. Grant did look a bit fatigued as the game went on, and his running off the ball could be a little better. Grant has been a great fit for the team since day one. He continues to display the type of performance and fight needed for World Cup qualifiers. He gets a 7. Devon Speedy Williams put in a good shift in the middle of the park. Speedy has been covering a lot of ground in his matches, and this game was no different. He and Grant combined effectively, as Grant supported the left side and Speedy the right. As usual, he was very accurate with his passing. Speedy, who was converted from being a forward to a midfielder while at St. George's College, finally showed a glimpse of his attacking ability, with a shot on goal that was stopped by the goalkeeper. He gets a 7. Junior Flemings was much improved compared to his previous outings against the USA and Canada. His pace gave the Hondurans problems as he surged towards their goal. He had 2 shots on goal that probably could have used less power and more placement. Flemings did show signs of combining well with Kemar Roof. He turned over the ball less than he did in previous games, but there is still room for improvement. In the second half, Flemings began to fade a bit, but he can be proud of the shift he put in. He gets a 7. Oniel Fisher responded to the critics with his best performance for Jamaica in years. After doing a great job defensively at right back against Alphonso Davies in the match against Canada, Theodore Whitmore moved Fisher into an advanced position on the wing. Honduras seemed very uncomfortable with Fisher providing defensive pressure so high up the pitch. Late in the game, Fisher switched from right to the left side, where he was able to cut in onto his right foot and score, effectively ending the Hondurans' chances. He gets a score of 8. Once again, Kemar Roof was running hard for his entire time on the field. This was the first game where Roof really looked to be in sync with the other attackers. Roof was rewarded for his hard work and movement when he was able to redirect a Shamar Nicholson shot into the back of the net. Roof was willing to put in work to start the defensive pressure up front from the get-go. As the team continues to gel, hopefully we'll see even more from Roof. He gets a score of 8. Shamar Nicholson caused problems for the Hondurans early in the game. Nicholson's combination of size, pace and power has enabled him to create mismatches against defensives thus far, and this game was no different. His first half shot led to Kemar Roof's goal, and there were a number of other dangerous moments that could have led to chances with a bit more quality. As the game went on, he faded, as you would expect from a forward playing his third game in 7 days. He gets a 6. Bobby Reid was the first substitute on the night. He put in some good defensive pressure on the ball and had a couple neat passes. He's still, particularly since his COVID recovery, struggling to make his presence felt in the game. Reid is one of Whitmore's favourites, but with new squad members likely to join for the next window of matches, the competition for places will be high. He gets a 6. Andre Gray gave the team a much needed boost when he entered the field. During his cameo, Gray ran the channels, held up the ball effectively, and was responsible for the assist on Oniel Fisher's goal. With Gray finally finding a club and getting playing time, he should be sharper in the next window. He gets a 7. Javain Brown came on for a brief appearance. He had some good moments and some naive ones as well. He didn't really have that much time to get into the flow of the game. He gets a 5. The team will go home happy, having beaten Honduras at home for the first time in Jamaica's World Cup qualifying history. San Pedro Sula is normally the graveyard for the boys, but this time they clearly came ready to fight. Next month, the team will travel to El Salvador and host the USA. If they secure anywhere from 3 to 6 points, the team will remain in the hunt for one of the top 4 spots in the table. There's still room for improvement in the way the team possesses the ball and moves off the ball. But if those aspects of the game are going to be deficient, then the team needs to be efficient with converting chances and be able to keep a clean sheet. They were able to do both in Honduras, and hopefully they can do the same in the next round of matches. Theodore Whitmore will be happy that his adjustments paid dividends. There were a lot of rumours saying the end was near for the head coach. He may have just purchased himself a sliver of breathing room.
You pick him up, you lick him down, him bounce right back. What a hard man for did.
Cross, Robbie O! Oh, he met it so well. And Whitmore! Theodore Whitmore. Absent without leave, this is Whitmore. Hall and Gale both available, it's still Whitmore. And it's now 2-0.